Hey, it's Mirthe. This is the second part of my arena and focus targeting video. In this video, I'm going to go over how having good targeting in place can make it much easier to peel for your teammates as well as landing kills. Alright, let's start with peeling. Okay, first clip here, we've got Hunter and Rogue. So my top priority here is not to let these two connect onto my healer, Bad, at the same time. You can see that rapid fire is going on the Hunter. As soon as the Rogue pops out, he's set to focus and polymorphed. So I'm just doing chip damage on the Hunter. I'm not concerned with doing big damage whatsoever here. It's just about stabilizing the match and getting through these cooldowns. A ring on the turtle. The Rogue trinkets it, but not quick enough. He gets caught by the ring. I get caught by a blind. The Hunter gets frozen too. With the Hunter using Stampede and Rapid Fire, Bad's forced to bubble here. I should have trinketed this blind immediately in this situation. It seems good to hold Trinket in a lot of games, but it should have been used here to help peel, as I can still ice block any hard CC on me later. As soon as Bad bubbles, I know I can sit the rest of the CC. Trading bubble for big DPS cooldowns wasn't a bad trade, just a little risky for me to sit and wait with the current information I had. So I dropped a freeze there, because Bad called that the Rogue was opening on him again. Got him in a root, which is keeping him off Bad. Another Nova here, he's off Bad. I'm going to disorient here for a couple seconds. I'm asleep. They're trying to keep me off of CC duty here so they can both connect. So I set the Rogue back to focus, and my first priority is to polymorph him again. Keep him off my healer. The Hunter is starting to dip low just from my chip damage because it's double DPS team. So I get a proc, and I know I can finish him off. And Bad had called at this time that he had feared the Rogue, so I know he's not in any trouble. So that's what it's all about, just stabilizing the match. Don't let them get a 2v1 situation against your teammate, especially with cooldowns running. This one's a lot closer. My partner charges in, hexes the monk. I palm poly the monk, which in hindsight, probably not the best idea. Should have just gone for regular polymorph here. I just started doing some chip damage to the warrior. Well, we've got a second. I drop ring, realize that I don't have palm for ring, so I have to cast a full one. Cast out my ring. I can see right away it's not good. They're not headed towards it, they're headed away from it. So I Nova them in place. I deep the warrior here. He trinkets, and I get CC'd, and I know right now we're in a bad spot. I polymorph the monk here, just trying to keep them separated so they can't connect at the same time. He trinkets the polymorph. I AoE freeze the two of them with my pet, just to keep them off Code. I polymorph the monk here again, and Code gets a knockback here that saves his life. So he's able to get around the corner and get a heal off. Come in and I freeze them both. And Code goes Ghost Wolf and goes to the other side of the arena. So I get another polymorph there on the monk. And I'm able to keep the warrior out here in the mid. Also forgive the way my character looks here. It's a minor glyph. So these two are trying to connect on me now. Code's able to heal up by the pillar. And then I ice block. And he's able to join me on the warrior, and he finishes him off, and we end up taking this game. This match shows how me and my teammate trade off peeling for each other depending on who's getting focused. It also shows how your defensive cooldowns are also integral to surviving burst. It's not all about your teammate peeling you. So Bad fears the DK off me and gives me a freedom. I get pet stunned and I blink it. I already polyed the paladin once here. I get a pet freeze on the DK, and paladin comes back with all his cooldowns right into a polymorph. I alter time because I think they're both going to connect on me here. I know I can get some distance and get a lot of life back too. So I was able to make Bad's job a little easier by regaining a lot of health there. Now they're both on me here. I put up my Frost Barrier and my other Incanter's Ward, just trying to waste time. I don't want them to... I know as soon as I ice block, they're going to go after Bad. I block, catch a DK and a freeze, and I poly the Paladin. Just some chip damage to the DK. I haven't used Orb, I haven't used Deep yet. Okay, drop a ring. palm ring. DK gets frozen by the ring. Some tick damage breaks him out there, but the paladin is afraid to come out of the ring. So I'm just using my procs up, just getting chip damage on the DK. Still haven't used my orb and still haven't deep frozen anybody. Looks like he's immune to freeze there. Paladin's trying to heal him a little bit. But at this point, I know all their cooldowns are gone. So I'm not afraid of anything they're doing. Bad fears the paladin here. And I drop out my orb finally, freeze him, deep on it, and use my procs. There's nothing to stop me now. And we kill the DK. This match here shows how important it is to get control of the CC chain and then keep control of it, especially with cooldowns up. Bad's kind of got low gear in this clip too, so it makes it even harder to keep the damage off him. So they open on Bad. I palm poly the Warlock, and Rapid Fire's up on the Hunter. Demon Soul is up on the Lock. The Lock just trinketed my Polymorph, so he's getting a repoly right away. So he can't get out of this Polymorph. I'm just throwing some chip damage in at the Hunter. Try and get a ring down here, but I get stunned, so it's no good. I silence the Lock here, but he fears me at the exact same time. I trinket this because I see that I did get the silence off. I gotta keep control. So I get the Polymorph off on the Lock again. Bad had to bubble. DR is completely up. I can't do anything to the Lock. So Bad gets a fear off on him. I deep froze the Hunter because if I can't stop the Lock's damage, might as well stop the Hunter's. He is forced to use deterrence here, and he uses trinket to get out of the deep freeze. So he's not doing any damage while he's in a deterrence, so there's no damage coming in at this point. I freeze the Hunter here, another deterrence. Don't have to worry about him anymore. He's just basically crowd controlled himself. I'm just waiting for the Lock to get close enough for Polymorph. He gets polyed full. The Lock is now out, just throwing in some chip damage. Probably should have got some Frost Bolts off here while I waited. I think I ran in for a Frost Nova, but didn't have it up. Get a freeze here on him. Bad gets another fear on the Warlock. I polymorph on the fear, and you can see Bad's health got low with just the Hunter on him and no cooldown. So you can imagine how much worse that'd be if the Lock was able to connect. He gets low, and the Warlock finally sees what's going on here. So he decides that he's going to start crowd controlling. He Mortal Coils me, and then he AoE fears off this. I get out and I try and silence the Lock, but I actually silence the Hunter there by mistake. Poly the Lock instead. Water Elemental breaks it on me. So even though I screwed up, you can see what I was trying to do. Just keep the chain going, blanket the Lock, and not let him stop me from murdering his friends. Being able to cross CC doesn't just keep your teammates alive, it also allows you to land kills. Sometimes all it takes is a blanket silence to cover the healer while you fire the last shot into their partner. You can also create tremendous pressure on a team by CCing a healer when you're ready to burst, or swapping to a target that's on DR and CCing their non-diminished friends. They're going to have to blow cooldowns they would otherwise like to hang on to just to recover from the damage you're putting into them. And now here's some matches of times we were able to land kills because of cross CC. This first clip's from a game that lasted almost 6 minutes. So I'm chasing the Boomkin here, and I see the Paladin's got his wings out. So I switch to him, redirect Kidney, and I tell Bad I'm switching to the Paladin. So then he, I believe, lands a Paralyze here, yep, on the Boomkin. And so that's separating their damage up a little bit. Bad's able to LOS one of them now too, so you know he's only taking damage from one of them. Kites back away from the Boomkin. I'm trying to slow the Paladin as much as possible while building combo points here. Slice and dice, bleed up. And then I see that he's let himself get low. Pop Dance. And then I focus Cheap Shot the Boomkin. And then that starts the chain. Bad then paralyzes the Boomkin off of that. And we're able to finally finish the Paladin off. This match is a good example of how powerful a swap can be in positioning. If you get into a bad position or line of sight your healer, you've essentially crowd controlled yourself. So this warrior has a habit of line of sighting his healer even at low health. So I'm trying to help Code land a kill here. I'm gouging the priest. I landed Kidney earlier. Bladestorm's coming up. I've got 5 combo points. I think maybe I could kill him here, so I evasion, and I'm planning on stepping in on the warrior. But I see the priest is guised way off to the other pillar here. He thought the warrior was going to head that way. So I changed my mind. I drop combat and re-stealth. I start following the priest here. And I sap the priest. And that gives me just a couple seconds to connect to the warrior, call for big damage, drop a smoke bomb, and we're able to kill this warrior before his priest can reconnect with him. In this match you'll see two different setup and kill attempts. So here we're wanting to go the druid. I have everything up, so we get a nice ring on the warrior. Druid comes out for a clone, gets counterspelled. So I start setting up on him, deep orb, procs. Bad sits by the warrior and starts tapping his blind. So he's just looking to time it as soon as that breaks. He gets pummeled on it, which doesn't really matter because we got tree form anyway. And I alter time out of the throw stun by the warrior and then blink his shockwave. We know we're not going to get the kill now anyway. I see bad Fear the Warrior up here. And so we're talking now about the next kill attempt. We're going to set up after the druid leaves tree form. So now we're just basically in a waiting period, just getting cooldowns back, letting DRs drop. I polyed the warrior there, but I know the DR is going to completely reset by the time we can open again. I get cycloned, just sitting it, looking at my cooldowns, see what I've got. So yeah, we're just basically poking around at this point. I'm just doing chip damage. I'll fire a lance every now and then. Not even blinking stuns. I want to try and hang on to every cooldown. I get cloned here, which actually protects me from the warrior damage. And so yeah, we're just waiting. And the druid leaves a wild mushroom there, so I call out for that to be killed. That gets a fear on the warrior. And that puts him over by the pillars here. I call that I'm ready. Next time we get the druid out in the open is when I'm going to open on him. So we get a poly on the warrior. When the druid goes across here, we know that now's the time for the next chain. I freeze on his stealth. Deep. Orbs up in 1 second. Just a little delay there. Fire an orb. Getting my procs. Bad gets the fear off. I get stunned. It's okay though. I blink it. So I don't have palm, so I can't like palm poly the warrior off this. So I just try to get around this corner before I get stunned, but I don't quite make it. But I can see that I'm pulling ahead of him just speed-wise. So I stop here, get one last polymorph off behind me, polymorph lands, and I fire the rest of my procs into the druid. The warrior actually trinkets, shockwaves, and then heroic leaves to try and stop us, but it's just too late. Thanks so much for watching. I really had fun making these. I hope it was at least a little bit informative. But yeah, thanks. Kick his ass!